Hey, welcome back everyone. I'm Dave Strang. 6 months ago we were here at Scottsbluff High School, kind of take a look at the construction project as it's going along. Randy Scott has been gracious enough to agree to give us another walkthrough here today, and Randy, we're looking forward to this, and 6 months can make a big difference.
It certainly can. If you think about it, we're only about 3 months away from the locker room turnover and roughly 4 months away from the turnover of our new entry area in Area A, the new south entry.
Well, I know people who may have watched our walkthrough video back in November are going to see quite a difference from what they saw at that time as we walk through some of the same spaces.
Correct. The main difference you'll see today is the courtyards that were being demoed at that time are actually enclosed now, and the classroom wing is largely taken shape. We have 2 floors of a classroom wing now, so we'll be able to walk those and we'll be able to show you those.
Okay, well, there's the construction site. As you can see, have a big crane going up there. They've been lifting up, I guess those are the supports up on the top there, Randy?
Yes, those are the bar joists to support the structural steel on top, and we have bar joists at the second level as well that support the flooring for the second level classrooms. And if we look here in this corner area is actually going to be, this northeast corner will be the central stairwell for Area F, or the classroom wing, the north portion of the classroom wing. And as we walk around, you'll be able to see that that's a glazed decorative block that will be visible from 5th Avenue as people come by.
Okay.
We'll just start walking that way. And
all right.
We mentioned a little earlier, at the end of school this year, then this parking lot will be inaccessible, and this north entry. And that's to allow for the Area K construction. The Area K is our ag and construction trades and welding area. And that'll be being built about where that backhoe and that water truck are. And so to get a jump on those phase 2 activities, what they're going to do is they're going to do the footings and some of the walls on the north side of that area, and the west and the east, to facilitate construction a little faster, to have some gains on phase 2. So as we walk through here, this is actually the start of our 2-story classroom wing. So we're going to come into a social studies room, actually, is the north end of this room.
Okay, keep that in mind. This will be your social studies classroom area.
And your science classrooms would be directly above.
Science up there.
Actually, the classroom we're standing in would be Mr. Largo's classroom.
Oh, he can look forward to that.
So a lot of folks in the community know Mr. Largo, so we'll kind of double back here just a little bit. You can see the decorative block wall.
Oh yeah.
Visible from 5th Avenue as well. And if you look, this would be the opening into the central stairwell. That it hasn't been built just yet, and it would come out up above there through that central opening right there.
Okay. Oh.
This is a look down the corridor. The block is kicked out here, and that's to allow for lockers to be inset in.
So all along here will be lockers.
Correct.
Okay.
For that, there's a plan view of it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So if we were to look at, these are just classrooms then, all the social studies classrooms.
And this is already known in advance with the concept that the school is using of where these classrooms are going to be clustered and located at.
They're all conducive to the academy and by curriculum area, and that's all been coordinated by Justin Shattuck, our assistant principal, with help, of course, from Dr. Andrew Dick, another assistant principal, and Mr. Mike Hawley, our principal at the school. So they've all worked together collectively and helped determine the layout of these spaces. The space that we're in now is roughly 3 classrooms. So from the wall there to the north to the wall directly behind us would be 3 classrooms. that's a significant growth from what we have now. Our typical classroom size now, it really varies greatly, but it could be anywhere from 650 to maybe 700 square feet. And in the new building, a typical classroom would be around 800 to 820 square feet, some of them as high as 850. And upstairs, our science lab areas, our science classrooms are a little larger because they include the lab in the area with it. They're around 1,200 square feet.
The entire facility will be wired for technology, right?
Absolutely. We have, of course, wired access points, and then we have wireless access points throughout the building. And our director of technology, Dave Davis, has worked with our engineering team from MKK to ensure that all those needs are met.
Okay.
We'll just continue down the corridor here. We're approaching an area that's going to be kind of the central hub of the new classroom wing. We call it the Kiva. It'll be, again, visible from Fifth Avenue through glass. It's an architectural element of the building. So as we come in here, this would be, eventually, this would be oral communications right over here. And then off of oral communications, there will be a stage installed right in this area.
I think you can see that. It's too dark, but...
And then across from the stage, right over here, will be some bleacher-style seating and another central staircase that will take you up to the upstairs level. And then across from that second floor area to this second floor area is actually a bridge. And that bridge, you'll be able to look down and see the people on this central seating. You'll be able to look down and see people performing on the stage.
So that will be from like up there coming across.
Correct. You can actually see the angles where the structural steel will tie in.
Oh, that's going to be neat.
It'll be really neat. It'll have a really wide open look, and it'll all be visible through the glass there on the equipment field.
Wow. I think when we were at about this point, Randy, the last time in the destruction, things were coming down. It seems like, wasn't the music department somewhere over in this area, or is that farther off yet?
Farther off yet.
Yeah, see, I'm completely lost because this looks totally different from when we were here just the last time. I get a little bit of frame of reference from the old classroom wing there, but...
We'll be able to show you that here in just a second, kind of where they demoed it. That area looks completely different. Remember, the floor was all sunk in at that time. As we walk through that, you'll see it's actually been completed, and they're framing it right now.
Wow.
Doing the above ground roughing. But we'll continue through, and I'll show you. We talked a little bit about Career Academy concept, and so this is actually a Career Academy class. This is the graphic arts in this area here. So this would be the classroom for graphic arts, and then you would walk through these doors, and on this other side, you can look through these windows, this would become graphic arts production. And then where those conduits and pipes are is actually a screen printing room. So we'll be able to do some screen printing and teach our kids screen printing. The graphic arts will do a lot in that academy concept. You'll see journalism work with graphic arts to talk, to work collectively. You'll see a lot of different people work collectively. DECA to maybe work with graphic arts on, and to form some type of an advertising campaign. So there's a lot of things that they'll work together, a lot of collaboration between academies. So that was really the whole concept of this building.
And it's obvious that all of this is being done with that in mind. I mean, that was all thought out ahead of time and planned ahead of time, so that everything that's being done here is being done with that concept in mind.
Absolutely. The Career Academy and the curriculum for the Career Academy is what's driven the design of this building. We'll continue on down the classroom wing here. I've been asked, why haven't they closed in this area yet? And that is because they still have to get in all their material that they're working on these upper floors and all of the material down through these corridors and classrooms. So that area will actually be one of the last areas enclosed. Walk through and you can see the difference in ceiling height. We've been asked about that, and the difference in ceiling height is when the old building was built, cooling systems really weren't around, and the heating systems were a two-pipe boiler type system, and electrical needs were a lot less, data needs were non-existent pretty much, and so the buildings have really evolved a lot now. So if you look, when we get up on the second floor, you'll be able to see that 2 stories of this building, the new building, are almost as tall as 3 stories of our old building. And the reason for it is you can see the increased need in the ceiling space to accommodate all the mechanical, electrical systems, as well as our data and technology.
Will the actual ceiling height in the rooms be any higher then?
They will. So our ceiling height in our rooms now in the new building will be 9'6".
Okay.
That's quite a bit higher than we have now.
Boy, this is a long. Is this a hallway we're in? I assume.
Yes. So same thing would apply as if in the block. That would be where the lockers would be located.
Outset for lockers.
This is the location of our elevator. We have just the one elevator. We have 3 stairwells. That's actually just a mechanical chase, and then this is one set of our common restrooms. And they stack from first floor to second floor. We'll be able to see that as we go up. Pretty dark in the men's side, but they haven't finished this wall on the women's side, so we can look over here. And you can see just how many plumbing fixtures we've added throughout the building to accommodate a higher student census.
And this will be how many? One of how many restroom areas?
So there's another one like this upstairs, and then there's another one in the commons area by the gym. The one by the gym is actually a little bit larger. And then there's faculty restrooms throughout the building. We'll continue on through the classroom wing, and I'm going to try to show you that first, and then we'll kind of get into the existing building.
Has it been pretty easy with the construction, Randy, going on with classes actually taking place in the school? Has that gone pretty well?
It's gone very well, actually. You know, we just talked about that at our last owner's architect contractor meeting, and Mr. Hawley had commented, the principal, that there really hasn't been a lot of impact. We've had a few issues every now and then. One that we probably didn't foresee until it came up was we have so many students that were watching the construction going on that when we started to weld the upper floor deck, the decking for the second floor, we had students watching the welders.
Oh.
So we had to put up signs and remind them of arc flash and potential welder burn to the eyes. So, but other than that,
it would be pretty hard not to rubberneck when you got a project going like this that you can see.
Absolutely. And as we get up to the second floor, you'll be able to see through the second and third floor classroom wing. They have a great view right now, right into the construction site. We'll continue on here. I'll actually show you the sizes of a typical classroom. If you go around the corner here to the left, this would be English classroom D107. And this gives you an idea of a typical classroom size. So this one's actually about 822 square feet. It puts it into perspective.
Yeah.
I thought we would probably continue up to the upper deck, and then I'll come back and bring you through the existing part of the building.
Okay.
One thing I did fail to mention, and I'll talk about it when we come back through music, is that hallway will eventually interconnect and go straight to the ag wing. And this area right here, this hallway, will eventually interconnect, and this will go right past the library. This will be the big curved wall that goes around the library in phase 2. So you just continue down that hallway. Of course it can't be built yet because we're waiting for us to move out of the existing classroom wing and demolish it. And then the new library portion will be built.
Where we're standing right now, was this just open space here, or?
This was open space here, but
because I see we're awful close to the classroom building there, so this was just the open grassy area out here on the east side, right?
Correct. If you look really close, you can see where the flooring was. And remember, this was that glass hallway that went down past the boardroom and took you over to music.
Oh, wow.
And you can see this is the back.
I was totally lost. All right, we're right at the back side of the boardroom then. Okay. Gotcha.
We'll take a walk upstairs.
Now here's one stairwell that is done.
Yeah.
Or is this an old one?
No, this is new. Of course, it'll get flooring.
Yeah, it's dirty. That's why I couldn't tell. But the other one wasn't complete yet over there, and that one's already done.
So you can kind of see how. So the area you see here with the concrete paving roof, this would be over the boardroom. And then as you continue on to the west, you can see the black roof. That's the area over the west entry and where the administration offices are right now.
Okay.
So we continue through, and this just mirrors the bottom floor.
Yeah.
But you can see how the height compares with our existing.
Well, that's the auditorium then, right there.
That's the auditorium.
We're just at eye level with it. Upstairs. That's neat.
As you look off to the southwest over here, you can see where they're framing in for the windows around the big commons area in the new south entry. And of course, there's the gym right there to the west. See the large neon rooftop unit. We'll cut back through this other way and I'll be able to show you just what we were talking about in terms of elevation. So we're on our second floor.
Oh yeah, I can see already.
You can see we're within about 4 feet of the finished roof elevation of what the old elevation is going west. And now you can see how students would have a front row.
Yeah.
Front row look at everything that's going on.
It would be hard not to be distracted. Any teachers thought about putting curtains up in there?
You know, they just do a very good job of monitoring the hallways and making sure.
I know they do.
Get to class. We've been really, really fortunate. We have a great set of teachers. So you can see none of the classroom dividing walls have been installed here yet. And you see just how much square footage there is in this classroom.
Yeah, they're huge.
We'll continue down. I'll be able to show you the bathrooms and stack up here above the ones below.
Is some of that size in anticipation of growth for the size of classes?
It is. We're I don't know what our student census is right now. I want to say it's between 960 and 980 at the high school level.
I think that sounds about right.
We built the building with a projected capacity of 1,200, so we would have the ability to house that many students. There is we could get to as many as 1,500 by using a flexible scheduling and staffing initiative. Basically, it would mean the teachers would have to move class to class, so the classes were used all the time, but we could accommodate as many as 1,500 based on that. back side of the stage. This would have been right off old rooms where we kept all of our stage props. And walk around the corner, we should be able to see that.
And this will be walled right along here.
It'll be walled off.
Yeah. Right.
We're actually coming around the corner, and this will be the next set of restrooms. So you'd have men's and women's. The area that we're looking down into, we're actually looking down into, this would be music tech. And if you see where those two gray conduits are stubbed up, there'll be a wall right there that goes to the outside of the building, and that will be our recording studio.
Oh, wow.
And then just on the other side of this wall would be choir. And then where you see the second set of scaffolding set up for the laying block, just beyond that is band. We'll be able to walk those when we go back.
Yeah, this is going to be all filled with creative arts down here.
Yes, all fine arts through here. So. We'll venture back downstairs. Once the building is fully enclosed, you'll see even more crews on site. So once the buildings are fully enclosed, what we call dried in, you'll start to see more conduit go up, more data tray go up, more ductwork go up. You'll start to see insulation in wall cavities, sheetrock go up. So the size of the crew on site now actually is quite a bit less than what you'll see once everything's dried in.
So we're talking how long from that?
It's not very long. They're hoping to have the entire second floor dried in, or the walls up pretty much in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh.
So the area that we just walked through would be turned over to the school district December 26th. We would move in over Christmas break, and we would start classes then at the start after Christmas break, so in January of 2017.
So we're like 6 months from now.
Yeah.
We're talking that this is going to be actually utilized.
So yeah, this would be, yeah, it's not very long.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, I'm amazed having come through here 6 months ago at how much has been done. It's not even the same place. It really isn't.
Now we're going to get kind of into where the existing building was.
Okay.
And so we'll start with, this will be our new counseling area. So half of it is in the new wing, and this red brick wall is actually the old building, and the other half is on the other side.
Okay.
So we'll walk through.
So in this old part of the building, this will be one of the few walls that's going to remain from what was in the old structure.
Right. Otherwise, the main walls that remain are around the auditorium and the gym.
Right.
So you see they framed in for some of the counseling offices. Back there where that gentleman standing with the hard hat, he's actually in a fine art storage area that we'll be able to see as we come back around on the east side.
And there we can see the auditorium.
And you can see where the concession stand used to be and how the walls have been demoed out and new walls will be constructed to make that concession area larger. What we're actually looking at here is this would be the SRO office, the school resource officer. Officer Todd. And then our commons bathrooms are over here. You can walk over there. You have your drinking fountains and your commons restrooms. It's pretty dark in there, but you can just see how big they are compared to...
Oh yeah, that's a huge space.
Restrooms were always a problem in events, and so this was one of the things that we knew we had to address in the construction. And then as we continue to the west, this would be a family restroom. And then if we just step in here, this would be our activities director secretary, her office. And that would be our activities director's office, Mr. Hawksworth. And then our training room would be all of this space, this kind of L-shaped space behind here for sports training. Okay. And then we'll also use it, we plan to use it for some of our curriculum, for sports medicine type curriculum. So now you can see the existing gym wall. You can actually walk through the locker room. It's been largely demoed out, and the walls are about to go back in. See, the floors have been poured back.
Now, we remember with the old locker rooms and with the old school, in general, some of the plumbing problems that existed. I assume that all of that has been taken care of on the front end.
All the lines are new, and then part of our Phase 1 infrastructure plan that we did last summer, the new sewer lines come out around the building, and all the plumbing in here is rerouted to those sewer lines.
Great, great.
Hey, man. So you can see what the tinners from Snell's are doing right now is they're putting in their ductwork and they're keeping it as tight to structure as they can, and so that they can maximize the ceiling height.
Sure.
Well, the two black pipes you see along the outside, Jamie and his crew ran their stone drainage and overflow screens. And this would actually take it back outside. If you'd asked about the sewer lines, this is a good view. This was part of the old tunnel, and you see the new sewer line going outside.
Sure.
And we'll just step outside real quick. And you can see there's the clean out. And see where that concrete, you can barely kind of see it. That concrete is actually where the new sewer lines were stubbed in last summer.
Okay.
We'll go back through and we can go through the gym. I can show you that. So the gym flooring contractor has already started. You can see we step down. As you can see, the gym floor has all been taken out. They'll now start to take bleachers out and remove that gym flooring, and they'll put the gym floor in the space and allow it to acclimatize to Arctic weather conditions once more of the heavy demo is done. They'll start with the gym floor underneath the bleachers, reinstall the bleachers, and then finish the gym floor to the middle of the floor.
Wow.
You can see the fire sprinkler systems have all been installed. We have a main that we have to install a soffit over yet. We just talked to the gym equipment manufacturer, this vendor, through Houseman, of course. And due to they brought up some liability concerns with the existing hoop system, so we're going to replace those. So the new side hoops, because they retract and come down around patrons. And so we were going to put secondary catches and new winches and stuff, but just because of some of the wear and some of the things that they'd indicated from use, that we're going to go ahead and replace them.
The bleachers themselves are fine?
The bleachers themselves are fine. They're relatively new. They're a good company, Intercal, that's been making telescoping stands for a long time.
And those have been pretty trouble-free, haven't they?
Yeah,
yep.
we do annual maintenance on them, just as a preventive maintenance. But It looks a lot different without the gym floor.
It does. How often do you see the gym floor like that?
The new gym floor too, the old gym floor, if you look really close, you can see these little squares. Yeah. Those little squares are just, they're little pieces that are rubber. So all they were was this little piece of rubber and then 2 layers of underlayment and then the gym floor. So if you remember, our gym floor didn't have a lot of give and bounce to it. The new gym floor actually has a sleeper system on it, and it'll be more like the middle school, so it will give and help absorb the weight of an athlete should they, say volleyball or basketball. So the new gym floor actually is designed quite a bit better than the old one. So we'll try to go through the women's locker room. They've been working pretty heavy demo there. You can see they've already got the underground roughing done. They've already poured the concrete back. You can see the plywood. The plywood is actually covering the grates for the new showers. This will be kind of a trough drainage system for the showers. See the new ductworks going in and directly overhead. They are really starting to set their piping. There's just a little bit of an indication of just how much piping is in this building.
Yeah. Has to be miles.
Miles, I would say. I was asked by we had some community tours, and somebody asked me about the challenges of building a new building around an old building. And there are some. We'll go through here. So we're actually in the new administration area. This has been a conference room. The office that this gentleman's framing right now is actually Mr. Hawley's office, the principal.
Okay, Mike, here's your office.
We'll shoot around these things. So these are assistant principal's offices. That corner office is actually security. You can see they've got their track laid down. This area right now is the reception desk. The nurses area. So that would be all this area back in here.
Is the nurses area?
And reception.
And reception.
This wall right here. I can actually blow it out.
Oh, okay.
This will be the main entryway. You see the floor is recessed here. And that's to allow for the entry map system, for the walk-off map.
Oh.
All that stuff is collected in the walk-off map. We have a good view now of the big high roof level, and we'll walk out here. This is the commons area. This will be our cafeteria and commons area, and you can see, remember this was largely a courtyard before.
As long as I have something from the old building, I have a little bit of reference. I mean, I can tell from being here kind of what I'm looking at there, but without that, you're totally lost.
And when it's all done, it'll be very difficult to tell the old building from the new. From the outside, it'll be virtually impossible. We get all new metal cladding over all the old brick. In areas where we didn't have enough insulation, the metal cladding includes insulation. So it'll be very difficult. It'll look like a brand new school.
And you mentioned some challenges with combining a new building around an old building.
So we do. We have those challenges. And what happens is a couple things. You have to compartmentalize different areas for your fire areas, for your egress standards. So that means creating some firewalls and some separations. But the bigger issue is buildings and building components move at different rates. And so old building and new building will move at different rates, different types of construction. And so we have a lot of expansion going. And I'll be able to, we'll walk out here through the kitchen. We're actually in the kitchen area right now. So this is the angled wall of the kitchen. So you can see that that block wall, this block wall here, represents that block wall over there. It's actually this portion right here coming off of warewash.
This over here?
Yes.
Okay. So that right there is what we were looking at.
You can see as we walk through here, where this was all existing buildings. Remember, this floor used to be the sunken floor. This used to be speech and choir over here, and this was all the sunken floor.
Okay, yeah.
And the old building used to terminate right here at the mountain front. So we have this scenario here where the new building abuts to the old building. And so you have to have an expansion going there. And in this project, we have over 6 miles of expansion.
Oh, that's a lot of expansion going.
Yes, it is. As we continue back, we're still all kitchen area. And as we get over here, you can see there's some track shot down on the floor. That's actually the culinary area. This will be our culinary classroom. So they'll be able to do caterings or to do a food show, and they'd be able to use their area here. They'd have the potential to work with the kitchen staff on the warewash area, and they'd have the commons area available to them to serve.
Great.
So
Very clever.
One thing I didn't cover was we went to the commons in the northwest corner of the commons area. This angled situation you see there, that's actually a drop-down projection screen, and there's actually a small stage and seating area there. And so if we're having an awards banquet or something, rather than renting a space, we would have the ability to project onto that screen and have the awards banquets there, whether maybe it's a sports banquet or who's who among American high school students, or National Honor Society, or if DECA had an event, we'd have it all available to us. This gives you an idea of the width of the hallway. So this was the old width of the hallway. You can see the and this
so that'll be going all the way out to there.
And we talked about it'll be more difficult to see the old from the new. This wall will be completely covered and furred over, and all of these doors will be changed out. So this will all look new.
Wasn't there a fire concern from a wind tunnel that was created on this end of the building in the hallway that used to be here?
There was the hallway here, and then remember we had the main hallways that ran outside of the courtyards.
Yeah.
Both of those were a fire concern. What basically happened was the supply duct ran through that hallway, but your return drew a while through that hallway. So if there was ever a fire or smoke, that smoke could be pulled back through the return system and then distributed through the supply.
And now none of that's going to be an issue.
None of that's an issue anymore. Remember too, I don't know for anybody I have kids of course in the district, and so I attend a lot of events here. You'd come through here if you came out one of these side doors, and if you weren't careful, you'd get caught. Somebody would would hit you with the other door as they were coming out, because the hallway just wasn't wide enough. And so we don't have those concerns anymore either. So now we're back. This will actually be the door that we go out, take the trash and stuff out for the kitchen. There's actually a diminishing wall built so that when trucks and stuff deliver, that's all hidden behind the diminishing wall. All of our trash cans and stuff are hidden behind the diminishing wall. This is we use it for storage right now, but these are our dressing rooms. They'll get new fixtures, new flooring, and new paint. And so these are the dressing rooms for the auditorium. This area that we're in right now is all fine art storage. So basically, except for the corridor.
Boy, they're going to have plenty.
Okay, and they'll still have their area behind the stage, which we're using for storage right now for job site. But we'll walk out and you'll be able to see they have an overhead door here, and that's to allow for stage props to come in and out and stuff. So we could actually build stage props, elsewhere and bring them here if we needed to. If we have large props or large fly systems we have to bring in, we could all come in through here.
They'll still be able to access off of 27th for that, like they did before?
Right, so if you notice kind of where the gate is, that'll be the start of our circle drive. So we'll have a large circle drive that comes in off of 27th.
Oh, right up in front of the front entry
right
there.
In front of the front entry, and then there'll be an offshoot that continues to 5th Avenue, and a wider section of street, and that's to allow for the deliveries for our food.
Okay. And you mentioned trash and everything like that. Wasn't that on the north side before?
It was.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've kind of split up our traffic flow. So a lot of your traffic that would be going to the parking lot would be coming off the 2nd. A lot of your freshman drop-offs and stuff would come through the circle drive and be off at 27th. It would be a right hand in, right hand out. It's kind of like the middle school. Your deliveries now, instead of coming from 2nd and coming around the building, would be coming from 5th. We still have some staff parking and some access from the northeast too, on that other entrance on 5th. So we've kind of split up some of the traffic too. This is actually band, so we're standing in the band, and that pad that you see right there is going to be for the cooling tower.
For what?
The cooling tower.
Oh, okay.
So we still have our geothermal system, but because the building grew, we had to find a way to supplement our geothermal system. So our engineers are still using our existing geothermal system, but they've supplemented it with cooling tower.
Well, that's, as I recall, that was a pretty good expense in putting that geothermal in, so it's great that we're going to be able to reutilize that.
Yeah, that was a big win. And it gives us the most efficient energy use of the building. As we walk through this wing, there's 2 offices that you can see the doors and the side lights are framed in for. Then you have your 3 practice rooms, and these are just kind of individualized practice rooms, and they're accessible from either the band or the choir side. We'll just walk right through this office. Where the conduit and the rebar ends, this would be the back wall of those offices and practice rooms. So basically from rebar to rebar, that's your choir room.
There to there. Okay.
And then in the west corner, kind of where that upright area of that scaffolding is, that'll be the choir office. And then kind of from where you can see that piece of rebar that matches up with the parallel support on that scaffolding. From there to the east is like music storage, like all of our music, sheet music and everything. It's all in a catalog storage system. Come back around, and I'd mentioned that we have those 2 hallways that continued on through. So this hallway will eventually continue on to the ag welding and construction trades.
Which will be, that building is next to go, right?
Correct. So they'll start demoing the existing classroom wing as soon as we're out of it, around January of 2017.
You know, if I hadn't have been here 6 months ago, I would look at this and say that by January of next year, you would not be able to utilize this space, but I know that that is the case.
It's amazing what work our crews have been able to accomplish here under Houseman's tutelage and guidance. You know, a project of this size that moves at this pace takes a tremendous amount of cooperation from general contractor and subs, in this case Houseman, with the design team, which is our team from Baker & Associates and Studio 120 and MKK. There's a tremendous amount of dialogue that goes back and forth between those guys every day to make sure that the little things that you didn't think of that are unforeseen that you found out in the demo are still taken care of and still get the building that you need to.
So this has really been a good collaboration.
Absolutely.
With everybody involved.
Yeah, and a project like this just wouldn't be accomplishable without it. I mean, case in point, I mean, so we're looking at this wall. So because of the way that the wall was built, we ended up with some fire. We lost some of our fire rating, and so through working back and forth between Andrew Christensen, our project manager at Houseman, and Jack Baker and Jamie Winters from Studio 120 and Baker and Danny Snocker, they found a way to make this all work, still get our 2-hour fire rating, and do it in a manner that still kept us on project schedule. That's the biggest thing, is it's got not only that you have to address those things, but then to keep the project on schedule. And so far they've done a great job.
Super.
And that really takes us back to kind of where we started. We're actually coming back through, and you can now kind of see how it all ties together, because we're actually coming back into the classroom. Somebody asked, they thought maybe the block layer made a mistake. If you notice the dangled walls there. And no, that's by design. And so the reason for that is that this becomes a central hub of traffic from the ag wing to the fine arts area to the classroom wing, west and east.
Yeah, you can see that this will be a main drag right here. I mean, going in any direction. You've got a long shot in any direction that you're looking from where we're standing right here.
Just continue out back to the east.
All right.
Openings you see there for ductwork. So you can see the chase up through the floor, and you can see the blocking through the wall for some of our ductwork. This area here is actually the central mechanical room coming back.
I'm sorry, it's what?
Central mechanical room.
Okay.
So you see our water mains, our fire mains are coming in. You see Randy Burback, he's one of our project superintendents for our plumbing and mechanical team from Snell. He's offloading material up above for the bathrooms. And we're kind of back to that graphic arts production and graphic arts classroom.
And there we go. We kind of made the full circle here.
That's right.
Well, Randy, we really appreciate you taking the time to walk through with us again. It looks like a wonderful construction project, and we'll look forward to maybe doing this again in 6 months.
Sounds great. You're welcome. And thanks to the community members who made it all possible for passing the bond initiative and being so supportive of the school.